he has more or less evened things out. I think it's back on 4 bases versus 4 bases, so he has the opportunity, if he can win one big engagement, to really take a huge advantage in this game. If he can win one big engagement, he might be able to expand further, or even can continue the push and press into one of the expansions for Killer. It looks like that drop is coming down again. A nice high storm taking out some units that were just rallied over there. But a big drop coming in, huge amounts of lurkers right on that Nexus. They're going to be able to take down probably the Nexus, at least the few cannons that are there. Oh, and a lot of Lings coming in there to help that out, and they definitely, all of that is going to be going down. Probably the Templar Archives as well, which is maybe the biggest loss. It hasn't been attacked yet, and actually only a few Zerglings left. I think he might have picked up all of the lurkers to come help in this battle down here in the 7 o'clock position. Pretty nice plagues going down, and still though a couple of Zerglings and that Defiler hanging out in the main base. Really, most of the losses that he's taken so far haven't been particularly big. You know, he's just lost his Nexus, which is not that great. I'm not sure if that Templar Archives went down, but yeah, it looks like the Templar Archives and the Robotics Facility are going to go down, and those are going to be the real important parts. The Stargate he can probably afford to be without right now. But he needs to be producing Templar. Nice storm drop on the new base going down there. Ooh, and a storm to counter the Scourge that was going for the shuttle. That was a pretty awesome play right there by SeCret. So, SeCret losing a lot of tech buildings over at his main base, but finally that drop has been cleaned out, and then doing a nice storm drop there. You know, he needs to really actually just kill off that base. If he can kill the base, then he will still be in this game. He can rebuild his Templar Archives and his Robotics Facility pretty quickly without much trouble. But another drop coming in, and this is probably going to be right on the supply lines, and if he does not defend against this... Oh, actually, the Robotics Facility stayed, but I don't think it's powered. Anyways... that dropship, which probably should be defending against that drop coming in at his base, comes in for a storm drop, misses one. Oh no, that was a fail right there. Trying to storm the big group of workers that had dodged the initial storm, and instead storms himself and his dropship. So he loses his dropship and probably 2 High Templar with a fail storm right there, and that was pretty embarrassing. And now Killer is in a great position because he is continuing these drops. He has got a huge number of Hydralisks in here, as well as probably a Defiler and a couple of Lurkers. Actually, all of that cleaned out by some nice Ice Storms, so still not doing quite as much damage as I would have thought he would be doing. All of SeCret's gateways are intact, which is very critical. If, you know, as long as his economy can stay up, which is not going to be for long, he will be able to produce. You know, the production is really the thing that Killer needs to stop the most, and he is continuing on with this. He's just going mass drops right now, all to the same spot, and SeCret has not been able to set up an army or any sort of defenses to stop these. And this time, I don't know if he's going to be able to take out the forces that are in there. Another group of Zerglings mixed with some Hydralisks, but in the meantime, SeCret is going in to try to take that 7 o'clock base back for himself. Although, in the meantime, he is also losing all those gateways that I was talking about. He's losing his production, and that is going to be bad. Also, just narrowly saves his dropship. Oh, and then again storms his own dropship. Oh man, Hwaseung, you gotta not storm your dropships. I understand you wanted to storm near them to defend, but seriously, that's 2 dropships that he's killed. Meanwhile, that drop in his main base has wiped out all of the gateways, and Hwaseung is in a huge amount of trouble right now. He has pretty much no production buildings left. He loses his Nexus at the natural expansion. That drop force is still moving upwards. It's probably going to move through I don't know if it's going to get all the way through the natural expansion, but it might move all the way into the 3rd base. And Hwaseung is just hoping that this army that he has right now is going to save his life. But against that many Lings, and especially with Darkswarm around, you know, he's not going to be able to do all that much. He's really just down to an Archon and a Reaver right now. The Reaver goes down, the Archon goes down, and he is forced to be building gateways right now before he can build any army. So it looks like 5 or 6 gateways going down at his, what was his 4th base up in the northwest corner. Another drop once again. This is just like relentless push. This is Mongol strategy going down from Killer. He is just pushing all the way, starting in the south and moving as far north as he can, and just wiping out everything as he goes along. However, you know, SeCret, what can he do to stay in this game? The critical factor is that he has been able to take out that base in the 7 o'clock. In the 7 o'clock position, so Killer is only on 4 bases as well, and while Hwaseung has lost 2 bases, they weren't mining at all, so his economy isn't quite as disrupted as it could have been. It looks like, it's really hard to tell on this mini-map with this quality of video, but it looks like Killer might be trying to take that 1 o'clock base again, and that definitely needs to be stopped if Hwaseung has any hope of winning this game. In the meanwhile, though, you know, since he hasn't been able to produce anything, he has basically no standing army, and Killer is just massing up troops just outside of that 3rd and 4th base, the only 2 surviving bases right now for SeCret. SeCret coming in with storm drops on a base that isn't even set up, gets a couple of drone kills, but that's really not going to help him all that much. Once again, just trying to storm random drones in the field, and almost gets himself scourged again, but trying to escape, was about to escape, and then that huge group of Hydralisks coming in to clear out that dropship, and that is something that Hwaseung cannot be doing right now. He does not need to be losing forces unnecessarily. He could have taken that dropship either into that 4th base in the southeast corner from Killer, or just kept it over near his own bases to help defend in case Killer tries to attack right now. Not sure where Killer is at in terms of economy. He is trying to retake that base over in the south, the southwest, yeah, that 7 o'clock position like I was talking about, but since it looks like he is actually distance mining there, so both players really hurting in terms of economy, so this is actually becoming incredibly close, and it's a little bit hard to tell. SeCret using all of his army to go and try to defend while he tries to set up this 1 o'clock base. I think SeCret definitely, Killer definitely knows about it because he has Scourge in the area. I think he also saw the dropship and the forces moving with an Overlord that was nearby. Ooh, double Scourge, killing off 2 observers, and it looks like he's going to snipe another observer, so no observers now in the area, although that's not going to be that big of a deal because Killer doesn't have any lurkers to come in. If he was going to move in with a big lurker force, that'd be pretty great, but it looks like he's going to be coming in with just Hydralisks and his Defilers, so this is really going to be, this battle right here could very well decide the match, and a couple of Mutalisks coming in late game to snipe off because there's only Zealots and Reavers defending this base, and those Mutalisks are going to be able to kill off the first Reaver. They are likely to be able to kill off the second Reaver before SeCret is able to produce anything to defend against this. He has no anti-air at all. I'm not sure what happened to his Corsairs from early on, but I'm sure they got scourged off at some point. There's no High Templar, there's nothing with Storm. Oh, and a big Plague. This is very smart by Killer, doing it very slow style, just slowly damaging and killing off everything over in the in that base so that SeCret cannot set it up. Meanwhile, he has taken that 1 o'clock base, or sorry, the 7 o'clock base once again, and so Killer is gaining an extraordinary economic advantage late in this game, and it looks like he is finally going to clear off the rest of those forces that were up there in the 1 o'clock base from SeCret, and SeCret has basically no hope right now. I think, I'm not sure if he has anything left in the bank, but I'm pretty sure even his 4th base is completely mined out, and now reverting back to you know, early mid-game tactics. We have a full control group of Mutalisks going in to try to harass. There are a ton of cannons, so they're probably not going to do too much, but They can snipe off this shuttle, and this shuttle really needs to survive. He's gonna... No, he can't even drop out his Templar. It's not like that was gonna be too big of a deal anyways. Even if he killed off all of the drones in that base over in the 7 o'clock, he probably wouldn't have been able to do enough to win himself the game, you know what I mean? Because he wasn't going to be able to kill that base in the 7 o'clock position. He was just going to be able to delay the mining there for a little while. Meanwhile, sending a DTN up at the 1 o'clock to prevent Killer from taking it for himself. But once again, all of this is a little bit too little too late, I think. I think Hwaseung is in an unwinnable position right now. Getting his last dropships, his Archons, and his Reavers all plagued, and that is going to be GG from SeCret. Killer just kept the pressure on. It was a very close game up until the end. I was surprised that it stayed that close that long. Not because I think Killer is so much better or SeCret is so much better. Actually, I think these two players are probably reasonably matched. But you know, that's just a long time to go without somebody taking an advantage. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and move on to game 2. So I'll see you there.